Looks like Iran's mullahs are getting pissed off. Some people are converting to Christianity over in Iran. Now, that's a very big time no-no in Iran. You don't want to convert over to Christianity because you will be persecuted. You will be persecuted. Perhaps the most high-profile case of apostasy in Iran right now is that of Pastor Nadar Khani, who is currently on death row in Iran for converting from Islam to Christianity. This is a recent article from May 12th, 2012, just like about a week ago. I'll post a link in my reference, but it's pretty good. Now, I'm not one person that's into religion much at all, but this is nuts. That's the way I look at it. I don't like religious people that get too far into any religion they're into, especially when they try to force it on other people. In other words, I know like even the Christians, well, they don't go around trying to kill people, at least not in this current age, but they'll try to convert people and all this type of stuff. Just whatever you want to do, fine. You don't have to shove it on everybody else. It appears, however, that the Iranian mullahs have a bit of an epidemic on their hands when it comes to such conversions, and they don't seem to like it very much. Iran's Ayatollahs are showing frustration with Iranians leaving Islam for Christianity in large numbers despite the threat of execution for apostasy. A former intelligence officer of the Guards, in other words, the Revolutionary Guards, who has now defected to Europe, told the Daily Caller that the country's regime has ordered the domestic intelligence apparatus to use drastic measures to stop them, including imprisonment, torture, and mass burnings of Bibles. According to a report by Mohammed Modeber, the chief editor of the Christian Farsi language news, 2 Christian converts in their mid-20s were arrested in April after intelligence agents entered their homes in Tehran without warrants. One agent responded to the mother of the arrested, who asked where they were taking her children. He says, why, responded mockingly, tell Jesus to come and rescue them. So, they're a bunch of kooks over there too, but I don't want them having nukes. And this is the pastor that converted to Christianity who's now on death row. And this was from Fox News. I'll post a link. I guess it's okay to show this briefly. The pastor has been jailed since being arrested in 2009 after he went to his son's school to complain about starting mandatory Quran classes. He was then charged with apostasy from Islam and was found guilty by the Iranian Supreme Court and sentenced to death and has been imprisoned since then. His attorney in Iran was recently arrested and sentenced to 9 years in prison. He has been barred from practicing or teaching law for 10 years. So, that's a wonderful place. It's like very understanding type people. Now, I do know they have Jews living over in Iran, but I also have a theory about that because, I talked about the Baha'i sect, how they're persecuted, and they basically embrace Islam, but they embrace other religions. Well, I have a theory why Jews are not persecuted in Iran. Israel's got a lot of power. That's really what it comes down to. Otherwise, I doubt if that would fly. Because if they were persecuted, Iran would probably be almost instantly attacked. So, that's what the game is going on. So, and yes, I have read every single conspiracy theory. Well, I don't know if you want to call it conspiracy theories, but when you're talking about power and money, there's like no religion. I mean, there's Jewish people on the very top that could be very high-end in business that will betray other Jewish people and throw them under the bus, per se, for their own gain and profit. So, sometimes, those are the people that will cause Jews to be persecuted. Yet, some other people might point, well, they're Jewish, they're the ones on the top that did something. I don't want to get into specifics because it gets too controversial no matter what the hell you say. But sometimes the people on the top that are very money hungry and power hungry, they will throw their own people under the bus per se, and they do this in, Islam too. They do that the same thing. There's powerful Jewish businessmen that will betray, Jews in general. Powerful Christian businessmen or whatever, they're born Christian, they'll betray Christians. Same kind of game. Same kind of game. But there's a bunch of kooks that run in Iran right now. So, I can give a damn what they do over there, but it's quite obvious they're hell-bent on trying to get nuclear weapons. It's not because of the UN report. It's just because of all the stuff they're putting up with for sanctions for so long. It's quite obvious. And before there was an Israel, there was Islam. And there are aggressive aspects to that religion. Depends on who's doing the interpretation. But the people that are doing the interpretation of the Quran in Iran have aggressive intentions. So everybody's an apostate if you don't agree with them. I don't agree with them, so what can I say? The only thing they understand is force. That's about it. So that's what's going to happen. So, I know they keep saying about World War III, but I don't know. I mean, to me, that will happen one way or the other, whether, the United States attacks Iran or not, because it'll just put it off a few more years, because once Iran gets enough power, it'll start. It'll start anyway. So, better hope for the best that they knock those guys out quick, and there's the regime change. Because if they're so intolerant of Christianity, basically, if they're that intolerant of Christianity, you know who their enemies are. It's basically anybody that doesn't think like them. I'd almost think the Nazis were more tolerant than the Iranian regime. So, then that's saying a lot right there. That's about how it is. It's just that the Iranian regime does not have the power yet to do that much. But they're attempting to get it, so the hell with it. Why wait?